In today's video, we're going to be talking about how you can improve your first touch in soccer. It is one of the most important abilities to have as a player, and the reason for that is because once you get to the higher levels, you must be able to take the ball under control with fewest touches as possible to make your next move. Because as you improve your level, the game gets faster and faster, and you must be able to make quicker decisions on the ball, and therefore you must be able to take the ball under control with fewer touches. We're going to be talking about the 4 different parts of the body that you can use to control the soccer ball: the chest, the thighs, the inside of the foot, and the top of the foot. And we're also going to be opening out some drills to help you improve your first touch on the ball. So all I need for today's video is going to be a soccer ball, a wall, or a teammate to help you out. So let's get into it. So the first technique that we're going to be talking about to control the soccer ball with is going to be with the top of our foot. So before we move on to this technique and to the other techniques, I would like to introduce you to the sand and the wall method. So if you want to control a soccer ball, you must be able to absorb the energy of the ball. So as that ball is coming, you must be able to absorb the energy. If you can't absorb the energy, then it's going to be the ball will hit your foot and go away. So the sand and the wall method is very simple. If you throw that ball against a brick wall, the ball will hit against the wall and bounce back, because that wall is very, very hard. It's a very hard surface. But if you throw that ball on a sand, because the sand is a very, very soft surface, and it'll go in, it'll absorb the energy of the ball, so then the ball will not bounce back. So what you want to do is to be making sure that your foot is hard like a wall, so your ankle is hard like a wall, but at the same time having the sand effect on the ball. So to do that, you want to be making sure that your foot is being pulled away from the ball as you make contact. So you want to, as your foot is making contact with the ball, pull your foot away from the ball, so then you create the sand effect and you kill the ball in front of you. So if your ankle is very, very hard here, I'm going to show you a demonstration. If my ankle is very, very hard and the ball hits my foot, it will go away because my ankle is very, very hard and I did not create the sand effect. Instead, if I create the sand effect and I pull my foot away from the ball, then I'll absorb the energy on the ball. So just like this. As you can see here, I absorb the energy of the ball by doing the sand effect. So we're going to do the same thing with every single technique that we're going to be talking about. So the first technique that we're going to talk about is with the top of our foot to control the ball. So the part of the foot that you want to be controlling the ball with, when you want to control with the top of your foot, is with the lower part of your foot. So you don't want to be making contact with the lace of your foot, and the reason for that is because it's a very, very hard surface. But if you control the ball with the top of your foot, you can easily get that ball under control. So when that ball is coming, to make the sand and the wall effect, you must have your ankle hard. And to do that, you want to be making sure that your toes are pointing upwards. When that ball is coming down, your toes must be pointing upwards to have your ankle like a wall. But as that ball is making contact, you want to pull your toes away, so down and away from the ball, so you create the sand effect on the ball. So just like this. If you can see here, I pull my toes away once the ball made contact with my foot. The part of the ball that you want to be making contact with is absolutely important. You don't want to be making contact with the center of the ball. You want to be making contact with the underside of the ball, so you can get that ball under control. So this is how you can control the ball with the top of your foot. Now let's talk about the drills that you can use to improve this technique.
The first exercise that we're going to be doing to improve our touch with the top of our foot is going to be to just kick the ball straight up and use the top of our foot to bring it down. It is very, very important to apply the same principles that we spoke about in the beginning of the video to bring the ball down. So you want to be always using the sand and the wall method. You want to be making sure that your toes are pointing upwards, and as that ball is making contact, moving your toes away from the ball to absorb the power of the ball. Now this exercise really, really helps you with those situations in the game that the ball is coming straight down and you need to kill the ball and make your next move as soon as possible. And for this exercise, what you want to do is to do 20 repetitions with your strong foot and 20 repetitions with your weak foot to improve your weak foot ability as well. Now if you're a more beginner player and if it's difficult for you to juggle the ball, you can also throw the ball up and then control it down with your foot. For the next exercise, you're going to be needing a wall to do it. So the way you're going to do it is that you're going to juggle the soccer ball pass it in the air against the wall and use the top of your foot to control it and bring it down. Now the way that you can use the sand and the wall method in this exercise is going to be by pointing your toes down to lock your ankle and make the wall that we spoke about. So the reason that you want to be pointing your toes down is because the ball is coming to you at an angle, and if you point your toes up, you cannot control the ball properly. For the previous exercise, the reason that we wanted to point our toes upwards was because the ball was coming down straight. But this time the ball is coming to you at an angle, so you always want to be making sure that your toes are pointing downwards to lock your ankle and make the wall effect. But at the same time, you want to create the sand effect by making sure the ball is making contact with the top of your foot, and as it's making contact, you're going to pull your foot away from the ball a little bit to absorb the energy of the ball and to bring it down properly. Now for this exercise, you're going to be doing 25 repetitions with your strong foot and 25 repetitions with your weak foot. And you're going to mirror the same one on your weak foot as well. Now if you're a more beginner player, and if it's difficult for you to juggle the ball, you can use your hands to kick the ball against the wall and use the top of your foot to control the ball. A mistake that a lot of players make while doing this type of exercise is that they use their laces to control the ball. And as we spoke in the beginning of the video, you never want to use your laces to control the ball, because your laces is a very, very hard spot on your foot, and if the ball hits your laces, it'll definitely be going away. You want to use the top of your foot below your laces to control the ball and create the sand effect as well.
The next part of the body that we can use to control the soccer ball with is going to be the inside of our foot. So just like the previous method and the other exercises that we're going to talk about, we're trying to use the sand and the wall method. And that is to have our ankle hard and have the sand effect on the ball as we're controlling the ball. So the first step that you can use to control the ball with the inside of your foot is to be making sure that your toes are pointing upwards. So if your toes are pointing upwards, you're going to lock your ankle and you can easily control the ball if you create the sand effect correctly. But a mistake that a lot of players make is that their ankle is sore and they're not pointing their toes up when they're controlling the ball. And that ball is going to hit their foot and go away. Instead, what you want to do is to always be making sure your toes are pointing upwards so you lock your ankle. And to create the sand effect, what you want to do, the moment that ball makes contact with your foot, you want to pull your foot a little bit backwards to kill the ball in front of you. But if you keep your foot here, the ball is going to hit your foot and go away. So your foot must be hard like a wall, but have the sand effect to control it. The part of the foot that you want to use is going to be the inside of your foot towards the back of the inside of your foot. So right here towards the back. You never want to use the front of the inside of your foot here to control the ball with. And the reason for that is because the ball might slide here and go away from you. Instead, you want to use here towards the back, because then the ball is going to stop here, and because you also have your ankle here, and the ball will stop here, and you can easily control it. But if you control the ball with this part of your foot, then the ball will run away from here, if by any chance you miscontrol it a little bit. Now let's talk about the part of the ball that you want to make contact with. And this part is important and very, very important. You want to be making contact with the underside of the ball. You never want to be making contact with the center of the ball. And the reason for that is because if you do, then that ball will go away. Instead, what you want to do is to make contact with the underside of the ball, towards the lower half of the ball, to control the ball with. Now let's talk about the drills that you can use to improve your first touch technique with the inside of your foot.
The first exercise that we're going to do to improve our first touch with the inside of our foot is going to be the same that we did compared to the previous technique. So we're going to kick the ball up straight and use the inside of our foot to bring the ball down. Now, as explained, you always want to be using the back of the inside of your foot to control the ball and not the front of the inside of your foot. And the reason for that is because the ball will run away if you use the front of the inside of your foot. You also want to be making sure that you make contact with the underside of the ball, and as you make contact, create the sand effect. For this exercise, you are going to do 25 repetitions with your strong foot and 25 repetitions with your weak foot. Now, if you're a more advanced player and you want to challenge yourself, I recommend that you not let the ball hit the ground. So just use the inside of your foot to control the ball and keep the ball in the air until you're done your 25 repetitions. For the next exercise, you're going to be kicking the ball against the wall and using the inside of your foot to control and bring the ball down. So because the ball is coming to you at an angle, you always want to be making sure that you make contact with the underside of the ball as explained. Because when the ball is coming to you at an angle, a lot of players make the mistake of making contact with the center of the ball and not focusing on which part of the ball they're making contact with. And for those reasons, they lose control of the ball. But you always want to be making sure that the inside of your foot makes contact with the underside of the ball and that you do the sand effect to kill the ball in front of you. Now, as explained, you can also mirror all these exercises onto your weak foot as well, just to develop that muscle memory with your weak foot as well, which makes you a stronger player. One of the most important things that you must understand when you're controlling the ball is to always be on your toes. A lot of players make the mistake of being flat-footed and they cannot adjust to the flight of the ball as it's traveling to them, and they cannot control the ball properly. So as you can see here, I'm always trying to be on my toes when that ball is coming to me and not be flat-footed. And when I'm on my toes, I can always adjust if the ball changes speed or anything as it's traveling to me.
So the third part of your body that you can use to control the ball with is going to be your thighs. So there are a lot of times that when the ball is coming to you, the ball is somewhere here, and it is very difficult to get low to use your chest, and it is very difficult to bring your foot up to control it with your foot. So in that situation, you want to be mainly using your thighs to control the ball with. So the way that you can use to control your thighs is, first of all, to understand which part of the thighs you want to control the ball with. And that is the higher half of your thighs. You never want to use the lower half of your thighs to control the ball with, because it gets closer to your knee, and if the ball makes contact with your knee, it's definitely going to go away. Instead, what you want to do is to make sure that the ball is making contact with the higher half of your thighs. Now, the part of the ball that you want to be making contact with is going to be the underside of the ball, not the center of the ball. So, making contact with here, and to create the sand effect, you want to be making sure that you pull your thighs back as that ball makes contact. So as that ball is making contact, you want to pull your thigh backwards so you can kill the ball in the air. However, if you keep your thigh on the air, that is a mistake a lot of players make, is that they keep their thigh here, or they're too eager to make contact with the ball early. So when that ball is coming, they bring their thigh up too late, and this happens, so then the ball will go away. Instead, you want to be making sure to time your control, which means that when the ball hits your thigh, pull it back so you kill the ball in the air. So now let's talk about the drills to improve your technique with controlling the ball with your thighs.
The first exercise that we're going to be doing to improve our thigh control is going to be the same exercise that we've been doing with other parts of the body. So we're going to kick the ball up, and as it's coming down, we're going to use our thighs this time to bring the ball down and control it. As explained, it is crucially important to create the sand effect on the ball, which means as that ball makes contact with your thigh, you want to pull your thigh slightly backwards just to kill and absorb the energy of the ball, so it stops in front of you. If you don't bring your thigh back when it makes contact with the ball, you're going to end up losing the ball, and the ball will end up getting away from you. So for this exercise, you're going to be doing 25 repetitions with your strong foot and 25 repetitions with your weak foot. The second exercise that we're going to do to practice our thigh control is going to be to kick the ball against the wall, and as it's coming to us at an angle, we're going to use our thighs this time to control the ball. Now you really want to use the higher half of your thighs, and the reason for that is because you don't want the ball to make contact with your knees. So you really want to be making sure that you get that ball under control and make your next move immediately. For this exercise, you're also going to be doing 25 repetitions with your strong foot and 25 repetitions with your weak foot. And if you want to challenge yourself for more advanced players, I recommend that you keep the ball up in the air and make sure it doesn't drop on the ground.
The next part of the body that we're going to be talking about that you can use to control the soccer ball with is going to be the chest. It's a very, very common area that a lot of players use to control the ball with. And the situation that you want to be controlling the ball with your chest is a situation where that ball is too high, that you're not able to control with your thigh, that you're not able to control it with your foot, because you can't bring your foot up here, so you must be using your chest to control the ball with. So when using your chest, we're going to be doing the same thing that we've been speaking about so far. We want to be creating the sand in the wall effect. So to do that, you want to be making sure that your chest is right here. You want to be extending your arms a little bit. You want to be flexing your chest, and to make a wall. So this is going to be the wall effects by flexing your chest. And as that ball is making contact with your chest, this part is important. You want to be going away from the ball so that you create the sand effect. So as that ball is making contact, you want to be bringing yourself a little bit back, bringing your chest back away from the ball to absorb the energy of the ball. So you don't want to be keeping your chest at the same position. A lot of players make the mistake of having their chest in the same position. So the ball hits their chest and it will go away. Instead, you want to create the sand effect by going away from the ball as the ball is making contact with your chest. However, if you want to control the ball in a directional way, you're going to, as the ball is making contact with your chest, you're going to point, you're going to face your chest in the direction, towards the direction, or I should say you should guide the ball towards the direction that you want to control the ball with your chest. So if that ball is coming here and I want to control it this way, I'm going to guide the ball in the direction that I want to control it with, right when that ball makes contact with my chest. So this is how you can control the ball with your chest. Now let's talk about the drills to improve your touch with your chest.
For the first exercise, we're going to be kicking the ball up and using our chest to bring it down. Now, as explained, it is crucially important that you bring your chest back as you make contact with the ball to have that sand effect on the ball. And you also want to be flexing your chest to make the wall surface that we spoke about to have the wall and the sand effect. You're going to do 25 repetitions in total, and you can move on to the next exercise. And for our final exercise, we're going to be practicing the directional chest control. So we're going to be juggling the ball, kicking it against the wall, and as it's coming, we're going to control it in either to our right or to our left. And it is crucially important to be making sure that as that ball is making contact, you're going to guide the ball simply in the direction that you want the ball to go.
So there you go, guys. That's the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to like and subscribe, and make sure to let me know in the comments below if you have any questions about how to control a soccer ball. Other than that, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys in my next video.